Guys, how we doing? I'm Ryan Mack. I nearly said this is Bully Bowlang because I have an adventure YouTube channel called Bully Bowlang, and whenever I do voiceovers, I always say at the end, "I'm Ryan Mack. This is Bully Bowlang." Blah 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 blah. So I almost said that there. I'm Ryan Mack. Welcome back to the trading, guys. I've just been away to Bali for a week. The guys in the group caught this. Look, I had it all marked up. Guys in the group caught a lot of this. I would have caught it, but I was drinking a Bloody Mary, and by the time I went back and I was like, oh, is it ready yet? It already fucking melted. But yeah, I'll show you here. Guys caught it. Then I'll just open this up so you can see it. There we go, look. Boom, there's Anthony. A lot more of the guys caught it as well. I'm sure. There you go, look. Here's another one. That's Lee giving the setups. So we tell you guys in our trading community, we tell you guys all of the trades that we take. I do swing trading, so I can put it in here in the part that says signals, right? I can physically, I'll show you it right now. I can physically write my signal here. Look, GBP USD sell, entry, now, stop loss, and you just copy it all. However, where are we? When it comes, excuse me, when it comes to scalps, my business partner Lee is predominantly a scalper. How many trades? Everything, but he's predominantly a scalper. So when it comes to scalps, he cannot type the signal, right? Because by the time he types the signal and sends it, he's already fucking coming out of the trade. And by the time you get the notification on your phone, you look at it, you open your phone, you're like, right, I'll jump across. So you jump from Discord into your trading platform, then you need to jump back, so you forget the numbers. By the time you've done all that, you've missed the fucking trade, guys. So what he does is he gives setups. So he'll just paint this on the screen when I show you. It'll come like this, look. There you go. So when you see this, right, and you're in our group, you already know that the minute this candle passes this line here, you're going to enter the trade, right? You're going to enter a sell. Your stop loss is going to be here where this red line ends, and this is going to be your take profit where that green line ends. All right, so that's basically it. And if you look down, how it played out, look, boom. I think it even went lower than that, but because they're scalping, they don't care. Look, there it is again before it even went. All right, here it is again. Look, before it even went. So yeah, fantastic. A lot of the lads caught it. Let's just have a look at trade results. Oh, I didn't mean to put that in there. That's the wrong one. But aye, that was my sunset in Bali. That was pretty fucking amazing. Like what? There we go. Look, here is, who's this? Anthony. There you go. Anthony again. Who's this? Don't say this. This is Gary. This is actually my mate from back home in Scotland. Gary has been trading with us for 3 days. There you go, look. 3 days of learning how to trade, and these are my results so far. Look, 917, 220, 89, 120, 90, and maybe that's the same one, 125, 98, 99, 82. All right, so yeah, here's Alex, 1,400 quid. Alex again, 524. Anthony again. So you get the point, right? I won't harbour about it too much. If you ever watch my videos, if you're genuinely struggling in trading, right? And sometimes you can trade, but you're just like, there's little things that just keep fucking you over. Maybe you're closing trades too early. Maybe you're marking this up, right? Now, I was away for a week in Bali. I took my sister to Bali because she's over visiting from Scotland. Now, let's say you mark this up. Well, I was on holiday, so I was thinking, fuck it, I'm on holiday. If I catch a trade, I catch a trade. If I don't, I don't care, right? Because I want to enjoy myself at the same time. There has to be that, separation of enjoying your life. However, sometimes you'll find, excuse me, people will mark this up. The trade will come here. They'll get the signal, and they just won't take it, and they'll just sit and watch the trade go like that and fucking melt. And they'll say, I should have fucking taken that. And it's a very common problem. So if you're having that problem, you're going through that, and you're like, yeah, I keep marking trades up, they keep hitting, and I don't fucking take them. That's actually a very common problem, all right? It's just, maybe you're risking too much money for your level of confidence and so on and so forth, so we can combat that with you as well. But if you'd like to join us, by all means you can join us. I'll put the link below this video in the description, all right? But anyway, let's crack on and let's start doing the fundamentals this week. So, as always, get your notepad out, right? Currency strength, strong, weak, and neutral, okay? We do strong, weak, and neutral because once we've written down the strong currencies and the weak currencies and the neutral, we cross out the neutral so we don't care about them, and we trade a strong currency with a weak currency because that's going to give you your uptrend or your downtrend if one's stronger than the other. If you do weak on weak, it's going to give you a range. If you do strong on strong, it's going to give you a range. If you do strong on neutral, it's just going to give you, you know, shitty little moves and you're just waiting forever. You ever been in a trade where you've waited forever and it's barely fucking moved 2 weeks later? You're like, come on. Well, that's a kind of strong to neutral, weak to neutral type trade, right? So that's why I simply choose to trade currency pairs which are strong against the weak, right? Because it gives you a good solid uptrend or a downtrend, okay? Yeah, that's us. So let's get cracking on. I don't really want to keep you long on this video. What date are we on? The 16th. Okay, so that's last... Yeah, this is last week. Okay, so let's have a look. And as we're going through them, what I do is I go through one currency pair at a time, apart from Aussie, New Zealand, and China. Okay, I always do those three together because they're all very closely correlated to each other. Okay, that's why I do it. So let's see what numbers we had. Bullish. It's a little bit better, but it's still minus, so it's not that great. But it is getting stronger. See, as they are trying to pull back. This is bullish CPI year on year. PPI is not so good. It's minus. Westpac core sentiment bullish. Inflation expectations same. Who's that for? NZD, okay. Leading index, Aussie has dropped. 2.4 to 2.8. Visitor arrivals have increased for New Zealand. So New Zealand predominantly makes its money from things like tourism. Excuse me. Tourism and dairy. So it's a really large dairy dependent country. All right, they sell milk. Everyone knows, you know, when you get a fucking lamb shank and you get a leg of lamb and so on, it's, you know, it's usually New Zealand lamb. You know, they always highlight it as New Zealand lamb because it's very good quality and so on. Where are we? Let's just see. Sorry, I'm a little bit knackered this morning because I was up at like 5 o'clock and I ran a 10k. Every Sunday in Jakarta, they have a thing called Car Free Day, right? Which is fucking amazing. I think every city should have it. Well, you couldn't in London because you'd get fucking stabbed. But I think most safe cities should have it. And what they do is from 5 a.m. in the morning until 10 a.m. they completely shut off the city, like a whole fucking 30, 40 kilometres right through the heart of the city centre. So vehicles can't go there. And then like everybody can come out running, jogging, walking. You can take your kids in a pram. People go out rollerblading, cycling on their bikes. It's fucking amazing. So this morning, I went out running 10 kilometres with a 25 kilogram Bergen. We call it tabbing in the British Army. It means a tactical advance to battle. So it's basically you're running a long distance with a lot of fucking weight. I've done 25 kgs and I put a post on my Instagram if anyone wants to join me, and about 8 people turned up. There was actually more people kept DMing me this morning to turn up, but they kept saying, "Oh, what time are you starting? I'm still on my way." And I was like, "Fuck that, mate, we're off," you know, because you could be waiting an hour for Indonesians to come, you know. So I just done it with the 8 people who turned up, so I'm a bit fucking tired because I've smashed out 10Ks. But let's see, let's get through this. CB lean index, okay, down. Sorry, I've already done that. Up. Expectations have my inflation expectations AD have dropped. Employment change Aussie has increased, so that's fantastic. That's good. Unemployment has decreased, so that's fantastic. That's really good. New loans have decreased in China. I mean, we don't really care about that. Money supply year on year. Business manufacturing index 51.4. That's good. That's increasing. Bearish. Slightly down, but it's done better than anticipated. And unemployment rate is down. Just to show you this, guys. Where is it? Have I got it here? Maybe I've put it away. I do have a piece of paper here. Where the fuck is it? I'll find it later. Anyway, I basically made a list out of all the fundamentals. I'll put the link for the form. You can just download it for free, right? So from all of this, there's tons of news on here, right? You don't need to care about it all. There's only specific ones that you really care about in the markets. And I have compiled together a list of them so that you can use them. If you go to the link below here on the description, you'll see it there, all right? Sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why that is. If you find that you've clicked on a link that doesn't work, just leave a comment below and I will send you another link, all right? I don't know why it does that because I've already set it to that anyone with a link can view it, so I don't know why it fucking sometimes blocks people. Anyway, there's nothing much changed for me. Week NZD, I'm keeping in week because it's pump. Even though, look, I had a little bit of good news, but that's not going to change anything. AUD, I'm going to keep in neutral for now because I'd like to see more solid information on that. Excuse me, more solid data. And of course, China, we don't write down. I'm going to write down in neutral CHF because I don't even bother looking at CHF anymore, as I always say each week. You never trade CHF based on data because the data never fucking changes, right? It's one of the most boring data pairs on the planet. Swiss franc becomes tradable for buys or sells depending upon the market sentiment. So is it a risk on sentiment or risk off sentiment, right? Pardon me, I'm not going to explain risk on and off again. I do it in 100 videos if you want to skip through them. I will, do them in other videos. I'm just trying to fucking get through this. Next week, what have we got? Or this week coming up, I should say. What have we got coming up? FPI, month on month. PPI input, okay, we want to see that. GDP, yep. PPI output, quarter on quarter. Leading index. Wage price index, we want to see that because if wages increase, it means like it's a positive for the country, right? If you make more money at your job and you take home more money each month, what you're going to do with that money? You're going to buy more shit. And if you buy more shit, you're going to stimulate the economy. So that's why we see if people have wage rises, we see it as good, all right? Let's have a look. Average earnings, etc. 1 year low prime. Sorry, I just need to top up my bloody yerba mate. Trade balance, yeah, we do care about that. Flash manufacturing PMI, services PMI, yes, credit card spending, we do care about that as well, because if people are spending more on credit cards, that's also stimulating the economy, right? And then they then have to pay that money back, so it's a good thing. Yeah, so that's it. We've got some news next week that we want to see. Nothing spectacular. So now we're moving on to CAD. I mean, CAD is shit anyway. Bank holiday building permits have increased. That's bullish, fantastic. Manufacturing sales month on month has increased. That's fantastic. It has increased by a lot. Wholesale sales month on month have increased. So that's good news for the Canadian dollar. Okay, like you might see some strength during that week, right? But as I always say, you need context. Maybe the CAD was strong last week because it had good numbers and blah blah blah. But you need to think of the big picture. Is the Canadian economy strong? Is it? Fuck. The Canadian economy is absolutely pump, right? And don't forget, the Canadian economy massively depends upon oil. If we look at oil, it's fucking melteroonie, all right? I can at least move this now down here. I'm going to tidy that up soon, but look, you can see it here, right? It's just absolutely pump. Next week, what we got for CAD? Oh, we've got a great week coming up next week, especially Monday. CPI month on month, we definitely want to see that. Median CPI, trimmed, comment, yep, we want to see all of these. IPPI, IPP, yep, RMPI, core retail sales. So when it's month on month, we want to see it, but that's going to have like a short-term effect, like right now. The ones that we really care about for swing trading is quarter on quarter and year on year, okay? So this kind of stuff here. It's expected to be larger, lower. Okay, so yeah, it's expected to be coming down overall. Okay, so I'm still going to keep Canadian dollar in weak because it's shit. Let's see what else we've got. CHF, we don't care about that. I'll just show you it, right? Just to show you what I mean. It never fucking changes. Look, it's just boring nonsense, right? It never fucking does anything. Do you know what I mean? It's pointless even looking at this. That's why I stopped doing it. Euro. Bearish, bullish, stagnant. So, but it's still strong. If it stays the same, it's still strong. It's monthly. German WPI. Bullish. Bullish. Don't be fooled that it's red, okay? Because look, it was previously -1. Now it's plus 0.2, so it's increased. The reason why it's red is because it was forecast to come in at 0.7 and it came in lower than forecast. So that's why it's in red, right? It really annoys me when Forex Factory does that, because if you don't understand how to interpret this, you're just going to look at the colour of that being red and be like, oh, fuck, it's weak. And it's not. That's actually quite good, all right? It's growth. French final CPI month-on-month is stagnant, so that means it's still showing resistance, right? So it's not weak, still strong, because it's holding up. Italian trade balance, yeah, good. Bullish, 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 bullish. All right, so Euro is doing well, and I had Euro and strong last week, and I'm going to keep Euro and strong. Let's see what we've got coming up this week. Currency pairs were absolutely wank last week, guys. They were totally shit. They never done anything. It was the guys in our group were just really trading gold, and that was it. So I often find that if I don't really have any trades that I'm looking to take on currency pairs, I just jump onto gold, and I just like scalp it in the 30-minute, 30-minute or the 1 hour time frame. Current account. Sorry, we've got core CPI year on year, final CPI, German PPI, blah, 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 flash, services PMI. Yeah, we've got tons of news next week that we want to see, okay? So just remember, see when it comes to manufacturing PMIs, services PMI, and so on, the very easy way to remember this is anything below 50 is bearish, right? Anything above 50 is bullish. If it comes to here and it's 48.8 and it comes to 49.1, yes, it's getting stronger. However, it's still bearish until it breaks past the 50 barrier, okay? Yes, it would be getting stronger and doing better, but it does not become bullish until it hits 50 and above, all right? Just remember that. It's dead simple, guys. Moving on. Let's get through this. Last week. BRC retail sales monitor year on year has dropped, bearish. Claimant count bearish. It's massive. So that's claimant count is how many people are claiming unemployment benefits and stuff like that. So that's massively bearish, right? It's a huge amount have started claiming unemployment. Average earnings index has dropped, so that's not good. That's bad. It means people are earning less money in the jobs that they're doing, you know, since last time. Unemployment rate has increased. That's not good. So bearish, 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 bearish. Pardon me. GDP month on month, bearish, bearish, bullish. Nah, it's still shit. Minus 18. It's getting a little bit better, but it's still shit. Index of services, bearish, 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 bearish. So that's a fucking bad week for the pound. Last week I had pound in neutral. I'm going to keep it in neutral, guys, okay? That's a fucking horrendous week, but sometimes you just have a bad week. It doesn't mean that it's instantly weak, okay? If you get consistent data week in, week out, week in, week out, that's always fucking negative, negative, negative predominantly, most of the time, then of course, yeah, you're going to move it from neutral into weak, But for now, I'm going to keep it in neutral. Just give it the benefit of the doubt that it may have had a bad week, all right? This week coming, we've got CPI year on year, core CPI, PPI input. Yep, we've got tons of stuff, manufacturing services. We've got tons of stuff we want to see. Remember, when it comes to the UK, we're not a manufacturing country. So if manufacturing is below 50, we don't really care because we're not a manufacturing country. But we are a services country, so we always want to see services above 50 to be doing well, right? And then if you get it where services are doing well and manufacturing is doing well, i.e. above 50, then that's fantastic, okay? But we don't really care if it's below it because the UK isn't really expected to have a high manufacturing because we're not a manufacturing country, okay? So yeah, I'm going to keep pound in neutral. We're flying through this today, boys. Let's fucking get it done. Leading indicators, 108. Bank lending year on year. Bank lending has increased. So why is that a good thing? Bank lending is a good thing because if the banks are lending out more money, it means people have more money, right? Whether it doesn't matter if it's a loan or a savings, the point is they have more money. And if people have more money, you know, they tend to get bank loans because they want to do something with it. They want to go on holiday. They want to go to, they want to update their car. They want to buy a new mobile phone. You know, all this types of shit. So if people have more money, they've borrowed more money from the bank, it means they're going to spend more money. And if they spend more money, it's going to stimulate the economy. So it's a good thing, right, if bank lending has increased year on year. Current account has increased. That's fantastic. Bond action, nah, not so good. Economy Watcher sentiment has increased, but it's still below 50. M2 money stock year on year. Excuse me. 1.6. That's increased again. Don't get caught out that it's red. Look, it was previously 1.5. They thought it was going to be 1.8, came in 1.6. So it's came in less than the forecast. However, it's still good news, right? Because it's increased since last time. Premium machine tool orders have increased. That's fantastic. PPI year on year has decreased. So that's a negative. Again, don't be fooled that it's green, okay? Similar to this. This is green because they thought it was going to come in at 2.5. It came in better than forecast, so that's why they've put it in green. However, if you look at the previous, it was previously 2.8%, so it's actually dropped. So that's bearish, okay? Do not get caught out with the colour red or the colour green. You have to understand, you know, how to interpret this. Territory industry activity has increased. So yeah, I mean, Japan for me, they are fighting back, right? They are trying to fucking do their best and keep their head above the water. That's exactly what they're doing just now. They're fucking treading water, right? However, that doesn't change the fact that their economy is wank. So they're still weak, in my opinion. Now let's go to the last one, USD. Cleveland Fed inflation expectations decreased. Small business. Remember, look, loads of this is off because wait there. Is the government still shut down or what? Okay. I don't know if the government's opened back up because I've been away all week, so I haven't been following it, right? So I do apologise. The US government was shut down for about 3 weeks there. It normally says it down the bottom that it's shut down, and it's not saying it here, so I don't know. Maybe it's reopened again. I missed that part, so I do apologise. Let's see, is there any in the news? Nah. Okay, I can't see any news here about it. Anyway, let's move on, guys. Cleveland Fed inflations, small business, bond, oil. Who cares? It's all boring shit here. There's nothing special here at all. Oh, fucking too far ahead. Hold on. Back. 8th of November. Oh, no, I wasn't too far ahead. I had just pressed down. That's all. Okay. Yeah, it's all boring shit here, guys. There's really nothing to go off. So, what did I have US last time? I had it as strong. I'm going to keep it as strong because I haven't really seen anything otherwise. Now, it's a bit of a hard one for me to sit here and say USD strong. Everyone's talking about fucking collapse this. Bitcoin's collapsing. Gold's melting. It's just, see, whenever you see all that stuff on the news, just don't fucking fall for it because they'll post all this shit, right? For all these crypto bros and fucking Forex traders that trade in a fucking swimming pool in Miami and just loads of shit. And it's just bollocks. All we have to go by is the data, right? Go by the data, take that data, that information, come across, do your technical analysis. Look, you see what I mean? Boom, in you go, then you come. Look, that was a fucking lovely trade. I could have kept going. However, yeah, don't get sucked into all the bullshit news. If you want more in-depth news than this, right, you can come across to this one here, which is the one I used during the week. Pardon me. It's called tradingeconomics.com. It's amazing. You've got everything here you want to see. It gives you tons more data. If you want to look at commodities, you want to look at metals and so on, you can look at them. Currencies, crypto, bonds, earnings. There's tons of stuff here. This is a phenomenal platform, right? Trading Economics. But like I said, the reason why I go through this on Forex Factory is because when I want to change the countries, it's dead easy to change them here, right? If I come across here and I want to change the countries, look, it's a fucking nightmare. Imagine sitting here going, hold on a minute, guys, fucking clicking here and, you know, scrolling through trying to find the country. It's a total bollock. So that's why I don't do it. All right. Calendar. But this is it's a great platform, honestly. It's absolutely amazing. There we go. So that's it, guys. 24-minute video. Happy days. There isn't really any more markups, to be honest. And I know that because I've already been through them this morning. So my previous markups that I put in the group, if you come across here, right, if you're in our group, you'll see here there's a section which says swing trade setup, right? Wait, I'll make it large. It says swing trade setup. When you click on that, I always put my markups here. So that even if I'm away, like last week I was away at Bali, if I don't give you the trade, you can just take it by yourself, right? And we've got plenty of members that do it. Andreas always takes my trades from here. He's doing great. So that there's no change really this week. So it's a pretty quick week in terms of, you know, not having to do markups, because look, the market hasn't done fuck all, right? It's just ranging and bouncing around on most pairs. It's pretty shit. You know, I wouldn't touch that. Again, that's dead easy. Look, I mean, I'm at a stage now I don't even have to fucking thing yet. What it says that. So if the market comes back down, you'll be looking for that. Bish, bash, bosh, right? Dead simple. Here we go. So that's already played out. Boom. It's already played out. Came down. Dum, dum. Bang, 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 bang. Right? That has already played out. See? Now, we're just looking for this. So you want to see it pull back. Boom. Retest, reject, and then fuck off. That's where you want to go. Alright, so wait for the retest and rejection first. I mean, bear in mind on the higher time frames, let's have a look at daily. Yeah, we are below the 200 EMA, which it doesn't just mean that you're looking for sales, but it is a good indication that you're predominantly looking for sales, right? So, actually, the trade that I'd really be looking for, in all honesty, see this here, look, small candle, large engulfing, I'd really be looking, mark it up, drag it down to the bottom of the wick. I'd really be looking for this. Bish, bash, bosh, boom. That's the kind of thing I'd be looking for, right? However, let's see. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe not as high as that. Maybe just a bit here. But yeah, let's see what happens. I'm not going to mark them all up because it's pointless. I mean, the markets are pretty shit just now. So this week I will be predominantly focusing on gold, guys. All right, just scalping it. Not swing trades, just scalping gold, get in and get out, okay? So, I'm Ryan Mack, thank you for watching. If you want to join the trading, guys, you will find the link below in the description. If you want to download any of the PDF stuff that I've made up for you for free, you can download it, crack on. It's just you can print it by your desk and you can have it out. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you would like mentorship, come across and join us, guys. All right, we give full mentorship here. We've got tons of videos for beginners and so on and so forth. And then, like I said, look, during the week, we're constantly on here giving advice, giving you trades. You can copy your trades and make some money while you're actually learning how to do this. All right, so thanks for watching. Have a great week. Don't overtrade. If you're on the charts and you're like, I don't really see much, but I could just take this, don't fucking do that. If you look at the charts and you don't really see much, just fucking leave it, right? That's the hardest thing about trading is not trading itself, is that people can't look at the chart and not take a fucking trade, right? The moment you've changed into the type of trader who can come and look at the charts and not feel like you need to take a trade just for the fucking sake of it, you've already leveled up massively compared to most people in the markets. I'm telling you right now, because it's a very hard thing to do. Some people go through it for months, some people fucking go through it for years, I'm telling you. The hardest thing to do is what we call sitting on your hands and doing nothing. Taking the trade is the easy part. Not taking the trade is the fucking hard part, alright? So yeah, have a great week. Don't over risk, don't over trade, and stay frosty.